Hey yo, Mark here for Mark's Max Muscle. And today we're going to be taking a look at the strongest man that ever lived. Well, depending on who you ask. His name was Louis Cyr, and from 1864 till 1912, he graced this earth with his statuesque presence, performing feats of strength the likes of which that have never been seen before. So without further ado, let's take a look at Louis Cyr. As I said at the beginning, Louis Cyr was born in 1864. He was very fortunate to come from a very wealthy French-Canadian family. His mother was said to have been of Amazonian stature, standing 6 feet 1 and a weight of 260 pounds. Meanwhile, his father was of average size. Perhaps a couple resembling Katie Sanduina and her husband Max, perhaps. Anyway, much like other naturally strong people, Louis began to develop his strength at an early age. By the age of 12, he worked in lumber camps and would impress fellow workers with feats of strength. Cyr would grow up to admire the legendary strongman and wrestler, Milo of Cronton. Legend told it of Milo's great training technique. Apparently he would hoist a calf to shoulder level and walk with it every day, until the calf would become a full-grown cow, and of course Milo's strength would gradually grow as the cow would grow. So Louis would try this technique, but much to his chagrin, the calf would have no part of it, and actually kicked Cyr in the back of the head, knocking him on the ground. And after that, Cyr gave up on that approach to this technique. But he hadn't got rid of that technique altogether. Cyr would actually throw a sack of grain on his shoulders and carry it for a quarter mile every day. And every day he would add 2 pounds to that sack, gradually increasing his strength. This technique would prove much more successful. Louis would get his first taste of publicity when he was a mere 17 years old. He would actually help out a local farmer by lifting his wagon out of the swampy ground in which it had been stuck in. The wagon was actually quite heavy, so it was quite a feat of strength. It was around this time that Cyr would let his hair grow out long, to resemble the legendary Samson. In fact, Cyr's mother would curl it on a regular basis. A little bit of a strange custom, but to each their own. It's just one thing that you'd never catch Mark's Max Muscle having done. By the age of 18, Cyr's family had moved to Boston, and it was there where he entered his first ever strongman competition. He stood close to 5'9" and a weight of around 250 pounds. Of course, his weight was ever increasing. In 1884, Cyr, married by now, had moved his family back to Quebec, perhaps to capitalize on his fame there. In a strongman competition in 1886, Cyr lifted a 218-pound barbell with one hand. He also lifted a weight of 2,371 pounds in the backlift. It was here where he earned the title of Canada's strongest man. From 1885 to 1891, Cyr toured under the promotion of Richard K. Fox. Through these years, Cyr defeated such strongmen as Sebastian Miller, August Johnson, Richard Bienkowski, otherwise known as the Cyclops. Cyr would continuously challenge famed strongman Eugene Sandow. But Sandow was smarter than that, and never did accept the challenge. However, Cyr would actually go on to break most of Sandow's records, so there's probably no doubt who would have won in a strongman competition. Throughout his years competing as a strongman, Louis Cyr performed many feats of strength. Some of these include lifting a 534-pound weight with one finger, lifting a 514-pound rock from the ground all the way to his shoulder. He beat Eugene Sandow's bent press record with a weight of 273 pounds. He once lifted a platform on his back holding 18 men, which in total weighed an amazing 4,327 pounds. This was truly a remarkable feat of strength, to say the very least. In 1904, Cyr would compete one last time, defeating Hector de Carry. By now, Louis was way past his prime, and weighed close to 400 pounds. Sadly, Louis Cyr died in 1912 of chronic nephritis. He was 49 years old. Louis Cyr will always remain a legendary figure in the strength and fitness world. Cyr is immortalized in the form of a statue awarded to the winner of the Arnold Strongman Classic, which is one of, if not the premier strongman competitions in the world today. He will undoubtedly remain forever known as the strongest man that ever lived. He is the legend, Louis Cyr. Well, that about does it for that one. Hope to find more strongmen just like Louis Cyr to do more profiles just like this one. So keep an eye out for them ones. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. And that's it for now. This is Mark for Mark's Max Muscle.